In my previous video, we found that the relative age effect is an issue in sport, and we even discussed some ways to combat it. However, I wanted to research more and get a deeper understanding of what influences the relative age effect. So what influences the relative age effect? It was suggested by Hancock et al. 2013. The relative age effect was influenced through three effects. Number 1, the Matthew effect. Number 2, the Pygmalion effect. And number 3, the Galatea effect. The Matthew effect was coined by Merton 1968 to explain a trend in the scientific reward system. He derived the term Matthew effect from a Bible passage in the book of Matthew, chapter 25, verse 29. For to everyone that hath shall be given, and he shall have abundance, but for him that hath not shall be taken away, even which he hath. Which in basic terms means the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. So how does the Matthew effect apply to sport and the relative age effect? As Rigney 2010 suggests, initial advantage often leads to further advantage. So in terms of the relative age effect, children who are relatively older, first and second quartile, are likely to have more advantage than third and fourth quartile children. This is because at a young age, the children born early in the year will seem to be better as they are bigger than most children. This will lead to them getting better training, as talent pathways may pick them up due to their maturity being mistaken for talent. Therefore, these athletes will receive better training at a young age, which will advantage them massively, and they will become a lot better. Delorme, Boiché and Raspaud 2010 also suggested the Matthew effect comes into place due to the late enrollment, as children with later birthdays are behind in development. This could mean they are discouraged from joining a club because they or their parents believe they are too small. However, even if their enrollment is delayed by a year, all other athletes will have a year of coaching advantage over the newcomers. This could be detrimental to their development, as they already have to catch up. Hancock et al. 2013 state the Pygmalion effect is the perception that the greater the expectation placed on an individual, the greater the result that individual will attain, and opposed to that, those who have a low expectation will have inferior outcomes. For example, if there were 2 children in a class and the teacher expected perfect grades from one and average grades from the other, according to Pygmalion effect, the first student would meet those higher expectations and the second student would meet those inferior expectations. Thus, expectations dictate outcomes. In sport, this can occur when a child performs well at a young age, as this will lead to higher expectations. As Shearer, Baxter-Jones, Faulkner and Russell 2007 suggest, coaches might make selections and determinations of talent based on physical maturity rather than skill or potential. Therefore, the Pygmalion effect, falsely based on physical maturity, will lead to the greater expectations for those children in quartiles 1 and 2, which explains why relatively older athletes succeed. Lastly, the Galatea effect normally occurs as a result of the Pygmalion effect. Merton 1968 describes it as once expectations are placed upon an individual, they are more likely to act in line with those expectations. So, whereas in the Pygmalion effect, the teacher's expectations dictate results, in the Galatea effect, the individual's expectations of themselves dictate results. Basically, by having higher expectations in someone, this will increase their self-efficacy, motivation, and performance. Rowe and O'Brien, 2002, prove this as they found when professors overly trust and believe in their students, their self-expectations and performance increase. In a relative age effect context, if there is an athlete that is relatively older in their age group, they may be picked by an elite team due to what they think is superior skill, which may not be true, as their selection could be due to their relatively early maturity and increasing physicality. This false belief in their own ability will lead to higher expectations in their own ability, which in turn will lead to new behaviours to align with such expectations. This may be higher quality and more consistent training sessions, and now new behaviours have led a false concept to become true. Thus, the athlete is more skilled than the others in their age group. This shows the Galatea effect has occurred. So, as you can see, the relative age effect is real, and there are many theories as to why it may occur. Thanks for watching.